Minister, has some of the problem from when we were part of the Netherlands, have some of those problems rolled over to us that we're still facing now? Because
you mean Netherlands Antilles?
Yeah, when we was part of the Netherlands Antilles. Because the police are still complaining. And between bracket, the teachers are complaining now of the heat. We got some of the same problem, 30 years problem that we're still facing today. Why are we facing it? And we hear
the reality is
we
money.
got all this money. But
the reality is money.
But we hear we get all this money. We get 500 million euros.
Okay, but that money was determined for specific projects in terms of after hurricane. And you couldn't change the definition of where that money had to go.
Okay.
What we were able to do, because that ESP program that I just talked about, where you're giving opportunities to businesses to be started, etc., that was supposed to be only for businesses affected by COVID.
Correct.
We changed it after the pandemic that it could also be for new businesses. And so that was a thing that we could have changed. But that money was designated for hurricane recovery, resilience building, etc. So if we can frame it in resilience building, we can do it. Out of the second approval of the funding last year or early this year, we were able to add school gyms and some other sports facilities that we have not been able to invest in because of not having capital expenditures.
Yeah.
So those are being repaired now. They weren't on the initial emergency list. Okay? And then with the funding now that we have just put in for capital expenditures for 2023, we're supposed to hear in September, that will then do a better upgrade of the roads, and I believe some other sports facilities areas that were on the list, ICT, that we need in the organization, so that's computers, because we're busy with digitalization as well, and other aspects. But why are teachers still suffering? A plan that was in place, I can remember when Minister William Marlin was in Vromy, they did a pilot project of solar panels on the roof of the library. Hurricane destroy it. So that whole process to start putting solar panels on schools was stagnated. You have to have an investment. But guess what? Now that we have a roadmap for renewable energy, changing over to renewable transition to renewable energy, we have to get moving on it. The first phase of it is solar panels. The next step is to assess the different sites, but there's also the opportunity to put on public buildings, which include schools, and this will reduce the cost that would be associated with ensuring that every classroom can be cool. But we see it as something that can be achieved, and we are working towards that. The problem was money. We didn't have the cash for capital investments, and I think the people on the road maybe don't know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
If you want to fix your house, but you ain't got enough income, you can't fix it.
Correct.
And that's the investment, the big chunk of investment that we didn't have. So we're able to sustain our day-to-day running right now, but we need to be able to invest in these things.